Hello, Twin Flames. This is Victoria, and I'm here with your daily energy check. Let's dive straight into the reading and see what's going on with those twins. And of course, if you're interested in my other content and services, there's a bunch of information in the description box. I also now have a profile on Hipsy, which is another way to get a reading with me, either recorded live. Recorded, of course, is a lot easier. But I will get the hang of it and will be more on there live if that's something that you're interested in. They're giving different options of like doing a one-to-one session in text messaging, things like that. But I'm getting to know the service, so please go and support me. That actually has one option that's free of charge. It's like one question kind of reading. For now it is free, so you can make use of that, and generally the prices there are kind of promotional prices. They're not the same as you would see if you go to my website, so I'm just keeping them low for the time being while I'm getting to know the service and I want to get more experience with it, and then I'll definitely up the prices, so make sure you use the opportunity. I'm not sure if I added it to the description box, but it's definitely on the channel. It's one of the links now on this channel. So if you go to the channel information, then you'll find it. But hopefully I also added it to the description box. Okay, so we will pull an oracle card first. I've got the archetypes deck with me today. Let's see where we go. And of course, if you enjoy my readings, I appreciate all your likes, comments, and subscriptions. This channel will definitely have more tarot pretty soon. As I mentioned before, I think on the previous call, I mentioned that I'm seriously considering bringing all my tarot into this channel. So this will be like a mindful tarot channel, most likely. And then I will have the other channel, I'll use it for more of coaching videos and, you know, all kinds of evergreen content on, well, everything spirituality and wellness. So, feminines, you got the Nectar card. It says 58, if I'm not mistaken. If that's important to you, I want to see what this is about. Let's see. The medicine, the elixir, the garden. In Hindu mythology, there is a miraculous substance known as amrit, or nectar, that contains infinite healing power. This golden nectar of sacred elixir is the drink of immortality, and like its sister substance soma, is known to activate subtle intelligent forces that ease the mind, body, and spirit. Though esoteric, these images lead us to the central energy of this archetype, the sweet, potent, heavenly essence that lubricates our spirit back to life. The Nectar card calls us to identify and relish in places, practices, people, and activities that regenerate and heal. Medicine is needed, and it comes in subtle form that you may be overlooking. Seek the most sensuous, fragrant flower in the garden you have forgotten. Don't underestimate the remedy. It is said when someone has activated the substance within, it is reflected in their shimmering eyes. So I'll leave it to you, Divine Feminines, to decide where you are with the nectar, or for some of you it's a hint to maybe look for the nectar. You know, maybe you're struggling with the personal healing, with the inner healing, and that's actually when we make use of other people who help us get into that place of balance and groundedness where we can then stand strong, you know, or at least be able to support ourselves enough. But in moments of challenge and crisis, we definitely use the help of other people. You know, they could be healers, teachers, can be doctors, why not? Coaches, therapists, depending, of course, on what is it that you're struggling with and what do you feel attracted towards. All right, let's see what we have for the masculines today. The Eternal Child. This one, think I've pulled before, and to me, if anything, this speaks of the inner child. But let's check just in case. Yes, it is. The eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life. He is radiant and fearless, and seeks joy above all else and at any cost. It struggles being bound to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and logistics. The eternal child wants to mix all rules and responsibilities and go beyond what others say is possible. It wants to return to the land of the free, where divine wine and creativity pour from the earth and sky. We all want a sip from the well of eternal youth, and this makes the eternal child naturally popular, perhaps even famous. The eternal child glimmers. It reminds us of what is possible, what is magical about this precious life. So a bit of that magical vibe, but I feel like the child symbolism can help you get there. You know, it's not really about childhood this time around. It's more about going into something fun and joyful fully, without thinking of consequences or like, you know, your household chores not getting done while you're doing this seemingly useless thing, you know, like everything that like the adult voice would be telling, put it aside and truly dive into it. If you have kids, it might be a lot easier for you to get to that point. Get inspired by your kids. Spend some time together. Magic will happen. Okay, we have the Light Seers deck today for the main read. All right, we have the full moon fast approaching. So I'm still deciding on the day when I'm going to be doing the reading. But I think it will be either Saturday or Sunday. We'll see. The Tower is the bottom of the deck. Big moment. It's like I'm sensing that this Tower is like new piece of information. It's not necessarily that it will immediately bring a change into your life, but it's the information that you never expected to hear on someone, or the way they acted towards you, something like that. Yeah, look at that, 10 of Swords. You feel defeated, you feel like you've been let down, you've been betrayed, you know, like I never expected this from this person, or you know, like I let them in on my deepest secrets, and it turns out they were talking about it, you know, fairly publicly with others, or whatever, something along those lines, you know, like it's not the end of the world. But it takes that particular person kind of out of your close proximity, out of your trust circle. And B is just like the feeling of it, of like, oh my God, like this feeling of betrayal. Feminines, your energy today is King of Swords clarified by this trend. Very, very masculine, I would say. But I like it because it is about summoning your power and creating those visions, those blueprints that we talked about the other day, to be able to move forward unapologetically with your dream. It's that part. This trance immediately reminds me of the solar plexus chakra, and you know, the ability to just go forward no matter what. And it doesn't mean sitting and waiting. It means taking steps. Yeah, they may be more subtle and or more you know, big and impactful on the outside, but on the inside, you know that, you know, maybe today you did your research online, which doesn't look like an accomplishment, but you got a lot more clarity on which way you want to go, or you now have information about your options and it's easier to make a choice, so whatever it is. Wow, masculines, your energy is Four of Cups clarified by the Lovers. Yeah, masculines are in the energy of what could have been, or is it still possible, or am I too late? It's a bit of an anxious energy, regretful energy too, and in this particular deck, it's this moment where the universe or the spirit is telling you like, oh my God, you have so much of that miracle energy around you, and you're wasting your time. You're missing completely the miracle, and you're wasting your time being regretful of something that seemingly didn't work out for you, right? This is again where this, look, even the colors, the rainbow colors here, rainbow colors here. This is where eternal child energy comes in, where you're supposed to make the most of what you have, right? Not be too regretful of the past or concerned of the future, but make the most out of the present moment. And that's actually how children normally operate, you know? They don't really plan ahead, right? They may be remembering something from the past, but they don't do it that often. It's more about right now, right? And there's a lot that we can learn from it. And the more you're focusing on right now, the more you are able to unlock more of that loving capacity, right? Because being in the past or in the future is bringing us anxiety and fear. And that's when we're starting to be defensive, to put up a guard and all that stuff. Additional question for today is 8 of Cups clarified by 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, twins don't want to give their energy off or their resources away just because, you know, it's like, just because I have them available doesn't mean that I'm just gonna let people steal them from me or take advantage of me, you know, or whatever, be toxic to me and just kind of like suck that energy out of me like a vampire. No. It matters how I give, right? Like, devil is in the details, but also the bliss is in these details. Like, how am I doing it? This also includes for some of you on how you spend your time, because it can be energetically, it can feel like a waste, or it can feel like something that is so impactful because it matters to people. Even if it's being on social media, maybe you're creating a post about some kind of personal insight that will change those people's day, or even a week, or even the whole life, right? And let's get some more clarification for each of the collectives. For the feminines, what do they need to know? Ace of Cups and 8 of Wands. Yeah, this is what I was just saying, you know, like, it's like putting your heart into what you communicate out, what you give out, right? And doing it wisely with care of self too, because if you are just like letting people drain you of your energy, essentially you're adding negative karma to yourself, or you're acting against yourself. Remember that principle from the Bible that you're supposed to treat other people the way that you treat yourself. But it also works the other way around, right? You're supposed to take good care of yourself. And if you're letting someone steal your energy without any consequences, or you just like let it happen, you're definitely gonna get a hit of negative karma for that, because that already means that you're abandoning yourself. So be very careful not to neglect yourself and to protect yourself, and do the due diligence there. For the masculines, we have 9 of Pentacles and Queen of Wands. I feel like this is similar to what we had last time. Don't remember exactly, but some of the cards, or maybe the last couple of readings, were the same. We had both of this on the masculine side. Yeah, so for the masculines, a big topic these days in terms of the way they give and receive, let's be honest, is the dynamic with the feminine partner, right? It's like, where is that line where like this is just me and I do what I want, versus like this is us and we're a couple and we're supposed to discuss decisions that we make, or I don't know, witness each other's life, you know, do stuff together, right? It's like that line of like, where does me end and we begins. It's hard for the masculines to find that balance. And I mean, for anyone, let's be honest, but masculines are the ones that are contemplating it these days. And spoiler alert, it doesn't have to be the same for every single couple. So there's no one right answer. It's about what is comfortable for you and for your partner. But it's important, A, to agree about it together, and B, to experiment and see what works, what doesn't, and adjust. You know, the usual, the classic golden rules. How would the feminine see the connection at this time? The Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. Wow. Yeah, the feminists can see the big unfolding, that there are big changes and more changes coming up, most likely. But there is a deeper kind of like thread in what's happening with both twins at this time, where it's like every interaction that we have with each other, or even the events that are happening in our lives separately, they have a deeper meaning there. We're being prepared for this role of light worker, for creating lots of that magic, lots of that light together, right? Making difference in the world. There is a lot of divine orchestration. It's also in this deck particularly, it's the card of luck. So you can also see it that way, you know, like luck is on your side or on both of the twins' side. It's an ability to see that even when events may be kind of more grim than you expect, you know, kind of like rejection is God protection, that kind of vibe. Because it means that even if there's something negative happening, or maybe your twin disappeared for a while, just kind of like it was kind of going more or less well and it was stable, and then the twin just kind of ran off. And it's like, yeah, but this is also helpful. This is part of the guidance. This is where we're supposed to be right now. How the masculine see in the connection, the Emperor and Queen of Pentacles. This is so interesting because in one of the latest readings we saw the couple was the Empress and King of Cups, and now the tables almost have turned, you know, and the masculine see how it's not necessarily that the feminine is better or more advanced than them in like all aspects of life. You know, there are also aspects of life where the masculines are actually more advanced, right? Maybe it has to do with like finances and abundance, or creating a certain living situation, right? But there's definitely some kind of area where masculines can see that they have so much more of that skill and aptitude and ability to create, right? So it's not like, oh, you're better than me at everything. It's like, no, we have our own unique combination of skills and experience and knowledge in life. And that's why we're going to be so great working together, right? We're going to complement each other. So the masculine see, but if before they, like for a while, they had that idea that they're not as good as the feminine, right? There was a big problem with self-worth generally. Now it's more like, okay, now I see that we can actually learn from each other because we have both virtues that the other doesn't have. And that's a different story. That's a different conversation. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all, and until next time.